Lady, the problem isn't in my pants. Mex-Men.
In our last episode, there was a moment where I was like, fuck, how come none of us said, look at this photograph?
I'm kind of happy we didn't.
No, it would have been like really funny.
I feel like at some point, unconsciously, we all decided to not reference Nickelback on the show. And
Or ever in life.
Or ever. No, yeah, and I'm fine with that. And more than fine, actually. I agree with that. I'm just saying, like, oh man, like the one time, because it was like right there, and I don't even think that we thought of it and then thought not to say it. I think it just didn't occur. And I was like, oh, could have been.
It's one of those things where you get like trauma and you just forget it. It's like never happened ever.
Yeah, like Nickelback is just so far out of my brain at all times. The part that sucks though is that now we are breaking our.
The streak. Talking about it now.
Yeah. It's you go to therapy when you're 50 and you realize that you forgot that song.
that song touched you when you were younger. So you put
that
it
song
somewhere.
was your Professor Xavier.
Yeah.
Touched you when you were younger.
Speaking of Professor Xavier, welcome to this issue of Mex-Men. I'm Tony.
I'm Justin.
I'm Devin.
And today we're going to be going over Bendis' Uncanny X-Men, issues 9 through 11.
Yeah.
Correct.
And then at the end, we'll let you know what that speech was all about.
That one you're waiting to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Been on the edge of your seat for a week.
It's not.
And at least the time of this recording, Marvel just announced a bunch of X-Men news at C2E2.
Sounds like a droid.
Yeah. I think that was the point.
Possibly.
I think they nerd shit, so they like nerd shit to parallel other nerd shit.
Makes sense. Did they? Oh, I did hear. Oh, yeah, that's stupid. Oh, yeah, I'll let you go.
That's like, what's his face? Chris Hardwick has that idiot thing, but he calls it ID10T just because it sounds even nerdier to say it that way.
It does. It really does.
But it's just idiot.
I would have never put those two together.
Really?
Yeah. I didn't hear about that show.
Oh, that's the name of his show now.
It's a
because
podcast.
He sold Nerdist.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so now he does.
But it used to be a live event, right? Or like a sort of a convention type thing?
I don't know. But
I don't know either.
Speaking of live events, C2E2.
Right.
They announced the Tarot Card X-Men event, which is pronounced Ten of Swords and not X of Swords.
Which both are dumb, but Ten of Swords is so much dumber.
Yeah, and like I know it's a reference towards like a specific tarot card.
Is it tarot or is that T silent?
Yeah, it's not a tarot card.
Like it's N of Swords?
It's not a tarot card.
Are you sure?
I am 1,000% positive.
Someone in your family does that, don't they?
Tarot?
Not in my family, but I have friends who read tarot.
Okay, then I believe you.
Don't look at me like that. I didn't give them the hobby.
You know, they need to do that thing, you put the little symbol above it, or what's it called so that you know to pronounce a letter differently. Like
in accent?
Yeah, they need a certain accent to let you know this letter's silent. But they don't.
No,
just guess.
But it's definitely tarot.
What's like Colbert, right? Like
yeah.
It reads Colbert, but he pronounced it all Frenchy. Maybe it's French.
He's pretending to be French.
Are tarot cards French?
I don't think so. I think they're like some kind of Latin.
I think so, yeah.
Isn't French derivative of Latin?
Everything's derivative of Latin. English is derivative of Latin. Spanish is derivative
English
of Latin.
is an amalgamation of things, but like Germanic languages, they're not Latin based, right?
Yeah, but
isn't that the whole point of them? English is like a hybrid of Germanic and Latin.
Yeah, but like I think most languages are still based off Latin.
We're like the Chevy Volt of languages.
Why is Chevy? You reference Nickelback, and then you reference the Chevy Volt. Are you trying to have like 38-year-old men
hey,
be our
man.
only demographic?
No, I'm trying to expand our demographic, okay?
They're the only ones
those
who
are the
listen
people
already.
we're ignoring.
But going back to Ten of Swords, so the tarot card means if it's in an upright position, painful endings, deep wounds, betrayal, loss, and crisis. And if it's reversed, it means recovery, regeneration, resistance, and an inevitable end.
Inevitable.
Inevitable.
way
an enemy.
It's way better that it has to do with that card as opposed to just being called Ten of Swords.
Well,
Yeah, but you know goddamn straight that Hickman only named it 10 with the X because he wants to keep rolling with that whole theme, and then he found out that, like, oh, there's 10 of Swords is a tarot card.
well, he was already
Probably.
clearly planning something with tarot because they're all over.
Let's tear it.
Fuck you, man. Because they're all over those Hox and Pox issues, those pages where he just randomly inserts those tarot cards with Rasputin and Cardinal
That's true.
in the tower. And it has no real relevancy in those books. It's actually like you get to those points and you're like, why is that here? And there's nothing that makes sense.
I don't
And
think
it's he's probably coming back to it in this event.
I don't think it's gonna have relevancy ever. I don't think he'll go back to it.
Well, he kind of sprinkled a bunch of shit in there, right? That turned out to have relevancy. The whole what was it? Akaro?
Yeah, Akaba was it that was?
Yeah, I mean, if I know anything about Hickman,
The second island.
he drastically plans ahead for everything that he does.
It'd be sweet if he does bring them back. Anything to do with Rasputin and Cardinal.
Yeah, he's touched on a lot of stuff already that he peppered in those books, and now, like you had that, you have the other creatures or beings that Apocalypse had dealt with. The fuck was I doing there?
That's what you get, you bastard.
Yeah, but I have an excuse. I'm fighting my allergies right now.
Yeah, and my mouth doesn't work great, ladies.
And then there's a space shit with New Mutants that he was setting up the whole phalanx thing. And then in the most recent X-Men book, Scott sees Doug talking to...
Doug.
I'll be you, Doug.
Well, that's his name.
It's just so funny. I don't know why.
But he sees him talking to Warlock, and then he doesn't see Warlock. He's like, wait, what? Like, it looks like Doug, Warlock, and Krakoa itself are all having a conversation, and then he looks back the next panel, and Krakoa's face is gone, and Warlock's gone, and it's just Doug sitting there.
Doug Warlock sounds like a dude who works on, like, he works in stock trades, and he's, like, real vicious when it comes to, like, we gotta sell high.
Yeah, but he also has a shelf mantle thing in his office full of pewter wizard figures.
Well, you have to, just with the name Warlock.
With, like, the crystal orbs
Yeah.
and stuff.
I hope they, based on your picture you sent us of the dildo sword, it's making me think of the next event is going to be, like, 10 of Wangs.
Well, that's when he finally gets to the orgy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's hilarious because they are having the orgy now. It's 10 of Swords. This is the all-dude portion of the orgy.
It's just 10 dudes with their dicks out.
Yeah. It's like the girls are on, like, a shopping trip or something, to be stereotypical. They're on a shopping trip, so it's, like, all dudes. Like, well, what are we going to do? Well, I guess we'll just keep doing the orgy. Fuck.
They're just dick fighting.
First of all, you look at that picture, that it is cool, but way too many people. There's more than 10 people.
Yeah, there's more than 10.
So there's more than 10 swords.
I don't think that it's a literal 10 of Swords. Which, how has it been this long before we mentioned it? Cyclops has a goddamn lightsaber.
Because the swords all tie in to the people.
I was waiting on you to mention it.
Yeah, I was going to, but also, like, yeah. First of all, it is dope. But I'm looking at you incredulously because I brought up it was dope, and then you guys are shitting on it.
I don't think he shit on it.
I was in the middle of everything, and you blew up because Justin was shitting on it, and you...
I didn't blow up.
What was your message?
No, I was...
See.
First of all, it's written, so you're lacking context. It was more of a, fuck you guys, it's going to be dope. It wasn't like I was angry at
Stomping
your opinions.
through the house. Pacing
Like,
while
fuck
you
these
wrote
guys,
that.
I can't believe they're shitting on this whole swords idea. Like, it's fucking X-Men with swords. It's cooler now. Swords are cool, X-Men are cool.
Yeah, the
X-Men with swords?
The 8-year-old
Double cool.
The 8-year-old version of me is, like, stoked.
But he gets a fucking lightsaber.
I just find it funny that they're like, give him the laser sword.
Yeah.
And then
and
I
Storm
assume
too. Actually, she has like an electric laser.
She's got a lightning sword, yeah.
And magic armor has like a body armor sword.
Yeah, but I think some of these are kind of cheating, right? Because some of them have actual swords, and then like Bobby's just making a weird spear out of his hand.
Got an ice sword. Well, because everybody's sword has to do with their own thing.
Right.
Yeah,
It's not
Wolverine-
an actual sword. It's just a fist spike, and it's the same thing with Domino.
I thought he was
She
holding
just has that
an ice,
Krakoan
I
fist
think
spike.
he's holding it.
an ice sword.
And Wolverine has the Masamura blade.
Muramasa.
Muramasa. Fuck you, man. Nobody can say anything today.
Yeah.
Is
Which
Gambit like they should have Gambit on here, and his swords are just made of cards he like taped together.
But I mean, it's obvious too that it's already building into that, because you look at some of those previews images for Cable, and he's already holding that sword he's got right there.
Some of the stuff is just dumb to me. Like Xavier with the sword. Really?
Yeah, but they set that
Well,
up too. Remember?
yeah, they have
because
his-
Jean in X-Force, Jean and Magneto make the sword out of
Oh,
the
yeah.
broken Cerebro helmet.
I mean, that makes sense, but he doesn't need a sword. Neither does Cyclops.
Well-
neither does Storm.
Neither does Wolverine, but he's been using one since the 80s.
I mean, that even makes more sense.
Frankly,
It gives him a
Xavier
little more
does.
range. A sword for Cyclops, Storm, or Xavier diminishes their range.
Well,
No,
not
think of it
when
as a
they're-
secondary thing.
Yeah, it allows him to fight easier in close combat.
He can fight in a wheelchair.
No,
He doesn't need a sword.
Actually, he can't fight in a wheelchair because if he shot his optic
was talking
blast,
about-
he would move
If
backwards.
he's fighting
I'm talking
someone
about
with
Xavier.
like, yeah,
He can fight in a wheelchair.
but if he's fighting someone with telepathic dampeners or something that's blocking his power, yeah, it makes sense for him to have a melee weapon.
which they do all the time.
yeah,
True.
I almost said if he's fighting like Magneto, but then Magneto would just also control the sword. So
But to be
And the
honest,
chair.
yeah,
if they have telepathic dampeners, he should go home.
he should go.
He's got no hand-to-hand combat training.
They
He's
always
been in a wheelchair
have-
his whole life.
They always have psychic dampeners.
But if you remember, he always turns himself into like a gladiator when he has those psychic
I
battles.
mean, he probably practices in his brain a lot.
Yeah.
It's like that thing where you throw darts. Imagine you're throwing darts over and over again. It like counts as practice.
But it's like that team of X-Men he made that with Scott's brother Gabriel, where it actually goes horribly wrong because he trained them in their head, so they thought they were ready, but then when they got to Krakoa, they got massacred. So like he thinks he's amazing because he just thought about it for a long time.
I'm just
And then he gets his ass
wrecked
kicked.
real quick.
I'm just wondering what event could be so specific that they all have to fight with swords.
It
Right.
just seems like something that would be created in the 90s.
Yeah.
I don't care, man. I'm excited. Cyclops with a lightsaber.
It's like, I don't know, it's equal to big guns. Let's give everybody a big gun.
It's like you're trying to rationalize Pokemon, like earlier. Like, it doesn't matter. Stop peeling the layers.
It doesn't, I'm not
It just
trying to-
unravels to nothing.
It's not like ogres.
I'm not peeling the, it's just pointless. It's gratuitous.
Not like that dick sword.
No, that was just right.
But also, Marvel released the image of, I'm assuming it's going to be a cover, but they don't really say for what. But Ileana cutting all the microphone heads off.
That was dope.
That was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Although I glanced at it at first, and the 5 News mic that's cut off, like, comes up right to her shoulder. And when I glanced at it, I thought it was like a Nazi thing, like on her arm. And I was like, "What is Marvel doing? No, she's Russian. They were opposed."
Literally opposite scales because they were communists. Yeah, but it's hard to make Ileana look bad. She always looks cool.
Yeah.
Like, even if you look at that poster and you're like, you think some of it's stupid, Ileana still looks super dope in that
No, the
poster.
poster looked awesome. Especially Mark Brooks is great too.
Well, I don't know. I do think some of it's stupid. Like, I was like,
How dare you?
no. I think the Iceman in that picture is stupid.
See, that makes more sense to me.
I think Domino in that picture is stupid, and I think what's his face, the headhunter or scalp hunter? What's his name?
Scalp Hunter?
Yeah,
Was he
scalp
in there?
hunter. Yeah, he's in there, and he looks like he's actually has some weird harpoon looking thing. It's like
Isn't there
that's
a guy
sword.
named Harpoon?
I see exactly what you're talking. He's got like a harpoon gun. He's going whaling.
Yeah, why is he there? Get him
Maybe the whole story is about them going whaling, and everybody else is fucked up.
out. I'm excited for that. It looks dope.
But yeah, the other bit of news that was, I guess it's barely news right now, and it's not exactly X-Men, but Marvel putting out that they're looking for an Allison Brie type to play She-Hulk.
Did they actually say that?
An Allison Brie type.
Yeah. You didn't hear about that? That Marvel's looking for an Allison Brie type, and like, Everybody's like, Allison Brie's an Allison Brie type.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking. Like,
You
you
should
should
ask
Allison
Allison
Brie.
But, like, who among us is not looking for an Allison Brie type?
They probably want somebody of a different like lower name. I don't even know who that is though, to be honest.
Allison Brie. Okay, did you watch Community?
No.
Wow.
You watch Glow?
No.
Wow. My feelings are hurt twice now.
Did you watch?
Did you watch, what was that movie with
I
with Kevin Hart and
Oh, I was thinking the shitty movie that the 5-year engagement.
Oh, I didn't even watch that. No, the movie with Kevin Hart and Will Ferrell.
Nope.
Get Hard.
Get Hard. Yeah. She's Will Ferrell's like gold digging wife who's trying to get him locked up.
I know what she looks like because I saw the ad, but
Oh, all right.
I've never
then-
seen.
Well, at least you know what a Allison Brie type looks like.
It
Yeah,
is,
she's
yeah.
perfect.
But I'm guessing they were looking for somebody of a. I was gonna say like a lesser known actress, but then I realized when saying that I don't even know how known she is because I don't know her.
She's
She's
probably like a
decently
mid-range
sized, yeah.
celebrity. Yeah.
I mean, she's her own type now, I guess. So
But I also don't know how legitimate. Like, where was that posted?
she
Cosmic Book News or whatever.
well, she was probably a bit more relevant than Chris Pratt before Chris Pratt got picked.
Pratt.
I know. I started fucking up Pratt. Yeah.
But it's a big enough rumor that she's been asked in interviews about it and has acted very coy.
So she was like bobbing out of the water.
Well, because somebody was like,
I was thinking fish too.
Yeah.
God damn it. Everybody was like, so you're an Allison Brie type. Like, are you talking to Marvel right now? And she's like, God, bottom.
Yeah, exactly. She's doing verbal serpentines, just like.
Swimming away from that question.
Yeah.
But yeah, she couldn't really say too much about it, which makes it sound like she's at least in talks to play She-Hulk.
That'd be cool, man.
Yeah. I mean, I saw a bunch of people that were like pissed off about it because she's not like a gigantic buff woman, but she's not playing like She-Hulk. She's playing Jennifer Walters,
Yeah.
who's a 5'1",
But I'm pretty sure-
and a 110-pound woman.
Didn't China
She
play
really 5'10".
She-Hulk in a porn?
And a bunch of them.
Yeah.
A bunch of them.
As far as
And
I
I've
know.
only seen one.
Send me those right away.
You can email those. To
I like
Mex-Men
that that's what
Podcast.
you're offended about. No, but I can't say that was great. Like, do you want... Like, are we trying to really Lou Ferrigno this? What's going on?
Well, I think it it should just be CGI'd because like Mark Ruffalo's not a huge
Yeah,
hulking man.
exactly. Like,
Is
they didn't...
Jennifer Walters really that small though?
Yeah, I looked it up for this. Allison Brie's actually taller than her.
Oh,
And
for real?
yeah, Allison Brie's like 5'3", and Jen Walters is 5'1", 110 pounds.
When I see her in the comic, she doesn't look that short.
Yeah, well, illustrators get shit wrong all the time.
I know.
Like,
Yeah, Wolverine's
That's
usually
exactly.
drawn like
Look
6
at Wolverine, yeah.
He goes like a foot difference.
because they try to draw him like about same height as Cyclops.
Yeah.
I mean, she's never drawn big. But I just never seen her draw like a kitty type size, you know.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
stats never really match the characters.
Although Allison Brie would also make a really good Shadow Cat.
I can see that. And also, I apologize for what I just did.
For smacking your...
Yeah.
Isn't she too old for a kitty?
Probably. I mean, she's early 30s. She's
I
about
think
the-
her kitty is just the
old.
right age. I don't know what you're talking about.
So moving on. Dude.
That's a good.
Let's end it on a down note.
I was on a down note.
Because well, I can't get on that topic because we won't stop. So
That's what she said.
yeah. So
I've been watching a lot of The Office.
so is every other white person in the world.
How dare you? They're watching Friends.
Trust me, they're watching The Office. But yes,
Their
so
parents are watching Friends though.
yes, their parents are watching Friends in between episodes of The Office.
So, issue 9 of Uncanny X-Men.
Yeah, it was good.
Yes.
How's that feel?
Just fine. I feel very validated.
Validated?
Yeah, that was validation for me because I also felt it was good, and then I heard you say it was good, and I was like, we get it.
We just
We're
end it.
together on this. Fantastic.
This is the
So I
longest-
don't know why you're always getting offended by it.
This is the
Frank.
longest we've gotten along.
Alright, so clearly, Dazzler is not welcome in the Fabio Medina, right? Household.
Yes, in the Medina household. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, he doesn't own the house.
Yeah, his dad does.
He just lives there.
Right.
assume.
No, I said Fabio
Mom
first, so
probably
you know who I was talking about if I got Medina wrong.
I assumed you were talking about the book guy.
Gold balls Medina.
The guy who got hit in the face with a bird while he was on a roller coaster. Have you seen that video?
No.
It's fantastic.
I'm just imagining it happening.
It's the model Fabio.
Oh, right.
Gets hit
Yeah,
in the face
never
with a
mind.
bird.
Oh, yeah.
And it breaks
Yeah.
his nose.
Yeah, I've seen it.
It's fucked up.
Anyway,
So Funky Cole Medina.
Dazzler, because if you remember at the end of issue 8, she shows up like, hey, kind of noticed all these gold balls outside. You guys need help? And they actually don't want any of her help. They're like, hey, you, get out of here. This is a family matter.
'Cause your dad's freaking out.
Yeah,
Still.
exactly. And she's like, just trying to explain, like, hey, I'm a mutant too. I'm an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. I'm just here to help. And
And it turns out they don't like mutants.
no. And he's like, stop calling my son a mutant. Fucking mutants are terrible. Like, they're super racist against mutants.
Yep.
All the while, Fabio is still being ignored when he's trying to say, like, hey, I am a mutant and it's okay.
Like,
And
no, you're
Scott's
not.
not bad. Like, now it's just one more person in the room who's, like, contradicting Fabio's story, but also arguing with Fabio's family. So she's only making it worse.
Yeah.
And Fabio's sister at least went from, like, crazy because she was, like, the X-Men are terrorist scum or whatever in the last issue. And now she's just like, wait a minute. You were an MTV. Are you this chick? You're Dazzler.
I will say, as racist against mutants as the dad is in this, he's rocking a sweet stash.
Yeah.
So I like how they always use that cover. They use the cover for the first Dazzler graphic novel whenever they show like her first record.
Mm-hmm.
But
Because that is the best picture of Dazzler they've ever made.
oh, actually, I think that's the first, not the graphic novel. That's Dazzler issue 1. But I hate how they keep trying to act like she is ashamed of her career.
Yeah, but I mean, think about it. It's supposed to be contemporary, right? And then that's supposed to be like disco, and contemporary culture thinks disco was lame.
But I want to know when this transitioned. Because back then, she was like, she was like, fuck, I don't want to be in the X-Men. I just want to sing. And now all of a sudden, she's like, any team. I will go on any team. And I never want to talk about my singing career.
She's Donald
ever.
Trump.
If they, pay,
I'll be on any team. I'll go with anyone. I'll be the.
It'll be the most amazing team.
I shine brighter than anyone ever has.
But it's just completely different from her personality. So I don't.
she will though.
It's kind of some bullshit, man.
I turn all the sounds into lights.
I
all
do.
the lights.
All of the lights, all of the lights.
But I do wonder how the floating timeline kind of works with that. So, like, was disco huge in, like, 2003?
Right.
In this,
Holy shit! Her power is just being a disco ball.
You just are noticing this?
Yeah, basically.
Have you ever read a Dazzler comic? Anything with Dazzler in it. Have you seen her before?
That's what she used to do: sing and provide her own light show.
Yeah.
But like, think about how weird that is. Like, they go into the club for her to sing, you know, during that disco period, and they're like, "Hey, where's the ball?" And she's like, "I'm the ball."
I am the ball.
Exactly. It's like a power trip she has. So anyway, the girl keeps bringing up like the album and wanting her to sign it, and she, like you said, she's like embarrassed by it. And then the dad has a gun just out of nowhere, and he's like, "I'm gonna fucking shoot you if you don't get out of here." Which, to be fair, she is trespassing in their home.
We're all really bad at talking today.
Trespassing the shit out of their
She's
home.
trespassing.
Dude, my voice is gonna be really weird. I keep trying to stop sneezing. And so far I'm actually successful. Clearly.
Congratulations.
Yeah. So he keeps ramping up the aggression, and she's just like, "Hey, you know what a flashbang is?" And then she kind of goes off on that point for a while. Like, it feels like she keeps talking about flashbangs.
It was
Like it's like
it was
just
two
too long.
panels, but it was too long. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also...
It could be just one comment but also she's about to have a listening party to her own album because she just puts
That
it
she
on
hates.
that she hates.
Which well, she put it on to get the sound, which I also don't like, because she doesn't need to put the sound on. Everybody's yelling. She got enough sound. You really need to put the record on.
But also, I don't think that this like at least mid-40s dude is gonna understand your Call of Duty reference.
Yeah.
No, but he should at least understand the power of the disco.
That he
doesn't?
knows. He knows that very well.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, with that stash, he had some bell bottoms and fucking.
There's been many ladies who have ridden that mustache.
And she could have just did a.
Just hair getting tangled, really, when you think about it.
Which Alex shaved a mustache into his face the other day. That's just something I had to add.
I'll let you continue. I was going to go on, but I realized that didn't happen yet.
Okay. So anyway, she does her flashbang, which seems super excessive.
Yes.
Like, because she blasts the shit out of everybody. I think even bystanders looking across the street get affected by the wave of light and impact.
How loud is that
from
goddamn stereo system?
Well, that's why she needed a stereo system, because she didn't just want to blind the dad and disarm him. She wanted to blast them out of the fucking house. Everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you could. I think if she just blinded him, though, he would just randomly be shooting his family.
Could have. Or she could have just finger banged him. Just laser shot him.
Oh, she does have that hard light.
This whole issue is mustache rides and finger bangs.
And not being able to pronounce things right.
Yes.
Mustache.
Mustache.
Yes. I mustache you a question.
Anyway, while this is going on, Scott's team of X-Men are finally kind of training. Like, we're getting around to that. And David, Hijack, is so unimpressed.
But
And is sort of just sleeping out, like, while they're doing, like, this weird, like, namaste thing. Like, they just all got done with yoga. And David's, like, just falling asleep.
It makes sense. He said because he was up all night doing the illustrations, and then his girlfriend left him in the morning. So I don't even think he slept since then.
Right, I know.
also,
But it's also pretty fucking weird.
When
Like,
they-
you're with the X-Men all of a sudden, and Scott's just like, wait a minute. Are we, like, this underwhelming?
when they first show Hijack, he looks like he's taking a piss, and Scott's trying to
Yeah.
talk to him.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's got his head up, like, just relieving himself.
Like,
So Scott's kind of like, you know, Emma, it's a lot like what I said before. Some people just aren't cut out to be an X-Man. Like, kind of talking like, we're going to get rid of this guy because he's just a slacker. And to be fair, like you said, he has a good reason. Like, he hasn't slept. And so this is assuming that they haven't even given the students time to sleep since they recruited Hijack. So if he hasn't slept, he also was just almost dead. Like, what, 30 minutes ago?
Oh, yeah, because he got healed, right?
Yeah, but he had gotten shot by the police officer, and then triage healed him.
yeah, it takes a lot out of you.
Yeah, the experience at least. But then he also had all the pain taken away from him, and so maybe even the healing kind of like maybe it's like drinking a pack of Red Bull or something.
I wonder if he can do that. Like,
So, like, he's...
Like he's just all like if you're being healed, like you'd think like that's gotta.
boost your stamina or whatever. too,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, but
At
if
least
it's
temporarily.
if it's like Red Bull, like, because if you drank a bunch of Red Bull, you don't feel like you're awake. You feel wired and tired as shit. So, like, maybe he just feels like shit,
Yeah, but
but like can't fall asleep.
It's natural, though.
Maybe.
So is Red Bull. It gives you wings, goddammit. That's how do you
comes
think
from
Angel
bowls.
got his powers?
He just drank like a vat of it. Anyway, Emma's like, yeah, well, you haven't seen what he can do, and so he calls the jet that they have over to them, and he's like, oh, well, that's useful.
It seems like a dangerous first trial.
Yeah, because he's using a power and he's half awake, and he almost drops the plane on all of them.
Yeah. Also, kind of a Star Wars reference.
Yeah. yeah.
When Luke first meets Yoda.
But I thought Luke couldn't lift the X-wing.
Yeah,
couldn't.
he dropped it.
Yeah, but he actually lifted it. The problem was where he was dropping it.
Yeah, Luke lifts it a little bit and then it drops down.
Yeah, anyway. So, Hijack, his powers turn out to be pretty cool. And Scott's like, never mind. I like the cut of this dude's jib.
Which, that is a reference to him pissing earlier. That's just what Scott calls penises. He was complimenting his circumcision. I like the cut of your jib.
I haven't seen a mid-circumcision before. That's it's like a half Audi is what that is.
Like the car?
which he could control if he
Yeah.
wanted. Irma happened to dye her hair, and then the other cuckoos freak out. Well, one of the other cuckoos freak out.
Yeah, and then the other one wants to also dye her hair.
Maybe red
Yeah.
is what she says, which probably seems even worse to them considering Jean Grey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Emma
And
was not gonna
also,
like
right then,
Emma's like,
Scott's
Scott's gonna try to bang you. Don't.
that. Yeah.
He's like, you are me, but with Jean Grey's hair. If you do that, he will not be able to resist himself. And if we've learned anything recently, is that he likes the younger Jean.
Not as much as older Beast though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, older Beast. He was ready to like whip it out.
So back with Dazzler now. She has Fabio basically a prisoner. Like he's in a metal chair with like power dampeners around his wrists and around his neck, assuming that that's what that is, and then definitely cuffs at least.
No power dampener.
Oh right, it's not a power dampener. That's right, because he ends up using his powers.
Yeah, they're just
Yeah.
restraints, and he
Then
like,
what's the
breaks
point of the collar? Like you just assume when you see a collar on a mutant, it's a power dampener.
True. I don't know why. Maybe it's fashion.
them. Maybe he's into that.
And he blasted like because he points everywhere, so he's freaking
Yeah.
out, and he blasts Dazzler like crotch towards the reader. It's just straight crotch in her face as she's flying in there.
Yeah. For everyone who's ever wanted to see Dazzler's crotch, I guess. But
Which
it's a
you're the
cool,
target audience for
Like,
that.
yeah, you are.
I
But
did screenshot that.
it's a cool like she's flipping and dodging basically the dodge balls
The points.
that he had. Yeah. But anyway, she's interrogating him about Scott and the X-Men and like where they are, and he kind of gives up that they weren't, because she asked if it was an island because they're assuming it's Utopia, but also you'd think they would have just gone to Utopia because they thought it was the most obvious place.
Possibly, but I would assume that they don't want to send just like a small search team to see, and like because they could
Send a
easily
drone.
take.
Robots.
Sentinels.
I mean, it was,
Yeah, they
they are
already
sending
doing
them
that.
everywhere else. But like, I just assume they don't want to send like a search team there, and they don't want to send like a whole squadron out there in case they're not there, because they're not.
Yeah, but if we're talking about S.H.I.E.L.D. not wanting to waste resources, holy shit. Waste. Like, what is with us today?
Just like, let's move on. We'll get it done.
If we're talking about S.H.I.E.L.D. not wanting to waste resources, like, why are they wasting them in so many other ways? It just seems like a giant hole.
I was talking more about like the people that would die, like or get injured if they sent like a small crew.
Right, but they haven't killed anybody, so even then, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, but they're racist and they think that mutants just kill everybody.
Yeah, fair
Even
enough.
Dazzler, I guess.
So she's like, where are the X-Men? Where did when Scott kidnapped you? Where did he take you? And Fabio's like, I wasn't kidnapped.
Where'd he touch you?
Also, it was the woods, and then you realize he gave up more information than he wanted to. He's like, I'm not telling you anymore. She was like, woods, eh?
Oh, see, I thought that was him, like throwing her a curveball. Like
No,
saying
because they
that
were in the woods.
Yeah, but like I
He
thought
just didn't know where.
he was saying like because it's not like middle of winter. They're in like the Arctics of Canada.
Yeah, he didn't say anything about snow. He just said woods.
So like woods, they're gonna be searching like Seattle.
Yeah, but think of all the parts of the Earth that aren't woods. They can now rule all that area out. So, I mean, that's like at least 2/3 of the Earth.
So they're just gonna wait until all the woods are gone and then they'll find them.
That's sooner than you think.
they'll let industry find the X-Men. So, she's like, he did kidnap you because you're a minor, which apparently he's the one who was 16.
Yeah.
Which I thought it showed Benjamin when
Because why else would he work at Corn Dog on a Stick?
it's a job.
He goes to school.
Why do grown people work at McDonald's?
That sounds like
We
a
went
starting
over-
job though. Corn Dog on a Stick.
So does McDonald's.
It sounds like it doesn't sound like a chain. It sounds like a little stand at the beach where you got like two dudes working there.
We went over this the first time we talked about their ages. He went to school with Miles.
No, not at this point.
Not at this point, which
He's
means
in the 616 universe.
He's younger at this point. If ever he went to school with Miles, then he would have to be young enough to go to school with Miles.
Here's my only problem with that logic, is that comics retcon shit all the time, and that was a decision made years later.
Yeah, but both were written by Bendis.
Right. I'm just saying, like, it could easily be a retcon.
But it wasn't.
Okay. Well, first of all, it was, because he's clearly not in school with Miles, because Miles is in the Ultimate Universe right now. So to say that...
Sorta. It's dying.
Yeah, it's dying, but he's there. Like, he does a whole all-new X-Men arc where they go to the Ultimate Universe just so that they can hang out with Miles.
Yeah, and it dies.
Yeah. Yeah, Cyclops kind of blows it up, really, when you think about it. Because Tony Stark has that whole invasion team, the Ultimate Tony Stark, and then when... This is, like, the first book of Secret War, and Scott turns into the Phoenix, and he blows all those ships up.
Don't recall.
Okay, well, we'll get there.
I look forward to it because I don't remember that.
So, like you said, he freaks out and starts pointing everywhere, and she starts dodging all the gold balls.
Sounds kind of dirty sometimes, doesn't it? Like he poinked her.
It does sound dirty. Yeah, and while she's doing that, Maria Hill is like on the outs, like they're looking from the outside of the cell in, and then the X-Men show up, and they're like, "Hey, I see you've taken prisoner the guy we just let go home."
Also, that's a second Stained reference that you made today.
Really?
Yeah.
I actually don't recall.
I'm on the outside, I'm looking.
Oh shit!
I like
And
when
then you said it's been a while earlier.
Right.
when they show up, they always got to do so super badass, like with flames and stuff.
Oh
From
yeah,
Limbo.
there were a lot of demons and stuff, but it makes sense considering that she has all of Limbo inside of her.
It's
Yeah.
about sending a message.
Pretty much. That's what I took it as. Like they can't just show up.
Yeah.
They just open. They teleport in the other room and just open the door. Get in there.
Hey guys, we didn't want to scare you. So.
Well, Bakula didn't have any debris that he could like draw into the panel, so he's like, "Oh, I'll just do like random demon parts."
That's probably on his checklist. He's like, how can I get debris?
So they get there, and Maria Hill starts freaking out on them, and Scott just has magic teleport her to Hawaii, right? Like just some random tropical
Hawaii.
beach. And then they enter the room, and Dazzler's like, "I'm not finished yet," and she looks and she sees that it's the X-Men, and there's a conversation that ensues where like all the students realize, oh, these guys like know each other, because it's just sort of like a back and forth of, oh, well, I see you're here, and it's like, oh yeah, and I see you're working with the with Shield, and we're gonna take back the guy that you have prisoner right now. And he's like, he's not a prisoner. He's like, well, he kind of is a prisoner.
Well, and right before that, all the like Coulson and all the Shield agents come in, and Ava just freezes them.
Oh yeah, great usage of the New Mutants' powers here, because they also then have Hijack just fuck up the entire helicarrier and send it. I forget where they send it, but because later, quote unquote, Coulson said something about it. But basically, Scott's like, "So are you gonna join us, Dazzler?" And Dazzler's like, "Nah," because what happened with Xavier? He's like, "It's complicated." Which, I mean,
it though?
She's like,
is it though?
She's like, "Why'd you have to go and make things so complicated?"
And she's like, "I'm not going with you." And he's like, "All right, fine. You're kind of an Uncle Tom, though, huh?"
He says it,
His
that was
words. His exact words.
And she's like, kind of, like dumbstruck by it, really.
Yeah, she calls him Sirhan.
funny. Which I don't know who that is.
I don't know. Like
I meant to look it up so I can get that
I
right.
did too.
Did-
I've
I
definitely
think
heard
it's
it
like a
before.
revolutionary who is like, kind of a tyrant.
Oh, okay.
But like, that makes sense how they're trying
Oh,
to portray him.
he assassinated Senator Robert F. Kennedy.
Oh, well then, never mind. Not the thing I just said.
I like because what's her name? Oh, Dazzler tells Ilyana like, "You look good, Ilyana," and Ilyana's like, "You look like a betrayer of your people."
Yeah. that is also another thing.
The sass level is very high in this issue.
Yeah.
It was like, I don't know. She just cut through the sass. I wouldn't even call it that. It was just like no bullshit right there.
Yeah. But she doesn't even bother trying to fight them, which makes sense because she knows she'd lose.
Yeah.
It's like maybe she could take one of them in a fight, but she's like, I understand how
Hijack,
strong all
maybe.
you guys. Yeah. But then, Scott's like, hey, so that dope power of yours, think you can move this? And he's like, what is this? And he's like, it's a fucking helicarrier.
It's a dome.
Because they teleported on there, so he thinks they're in a building.
No, it's a sphere.
It's a reference to
It's like a double dome.
the Dimsdale double dome.
Yeah, we make that.
Was that
same.
Messiah Complex or Second Coming? Was that?
It was Second Coming.
Yeah. So go listen to our
When
Second
they
Coming
realized the
episode
dome
where
is
we
a
talk-
sphere.
I know, it's such a big reveal. It's not a dome. It's a sphere.
So they
Yeah, that's when Coulson comes in.
yeah, they leave. So then Dazzler is like sulking in her room because she just got owned by the X-Men and was called an Uncle Tom and is probably feeling it. And Coulson comes in and he's like, hey, I got some bad coffee for you. And let me just, put you at ease that everything is going to be okay. Also, that coffee, drugs.
Yeah. And also, her face when she realizes that, she's like,
Yeah, and it turns out that Coulson is actually Mystique, and then Mystique becomes Dazzler.
yep.
Yes.
And also, on a side note, have you ever read anything where there's an interaction between Thor and Coulson?
No, I
Son
watched the
of
whole
Cole.
movie.
Yeah, Thor always calls him Son of Cole.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That tracks. If I know my Norse mythology right, there's a very prominent character in like smithing places.
What?
There was always a son of coal who shoved the coal.
This is more for steam
the
engines.
office.
But yeah, if anybody listening doesn't know, in Norse mythology, your last name is your dad's name plus whether or not you are the son or daughter.
And your last name was probably the thing you did, so he fucked coal.
What? Are you just saying words now?
No, because like people whose last name was Smith is because they were the Smith.
Yeah, but those are different cultures. Those are like
Barely.
no, like there's the cultures that did that, and that's how they got their last name. And then there's like everything that like Norse mythology like that followed that, like Vikings and stuff. Your last name was just like what your father's first name was, and then son or daughter.
I don't know any daughters, so.
That's because they all married
Oh, right.
guys eventually.
Because
and then
Odin's son, yeah, that's right. Wait, that's his last name?
yeah,
That
Odin.
sucks. Thought it was like a title. Well, I guess your last name is a sort of title. Never mind.
But it's like that's why there's like John's son, because you were the son of John.
And technically, we're all the son of a John.
Let's move on.
Dick jokes. All right. So, issue 10. More training. So they're really finally getting into this training stuff, but it's kind of just Ilyana beating the fuck out of Ava. Because Ava's even just like, hey, I've never fought before. She's like, I don't give a shit. This is war, bitch. And then she throws her.
Which I like. She's like, take it easy on me. I'm new at this. She's like, no.
But at the same time, it's like they're like Cyclops is like, hey, no powers, Ava.
Yeah. Well, because he's trying to get her to, just be conditioned to fight. You don't really build that part of your skill set if you're not doing that. Or maybe he just likes seeing young girls get beaten up by people with powers.
Well,
Because he did the same thing with Hope.
Yeah, no powers.
And then blasted shit out of her.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of his thing.
But it makes sense. I forgot when this... Oh, yeah, that's who it was. I was literally just thinking, this happened recently, where he said no powers.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
It's just how he trains everybody.
Well, just the young girls. Wolverine, he's always trying to fuck or kill them. And Scott just beating them, really.
Taking out that anger.
So, which is worse?
Wolverine
Really?
is
Both are bad.
Wolverine is the same dude who will he'll put a knife to their throat, like put his claws to their throat, and then at the same time be like, "They're too young for this. Here's a doll. Go play with it."
Or a sword.
Yeah, true.
You never know what you're going to get with Wolverine for Christmas. Is it a doll? Is it a sword?
Kitty
Is
opens
it-
up the sword and is like, "I didn't even get a bra yet."
Is it chlamydia?
Even worse.
So,
He just transmits it. He doesn't have it. It just
Yeah.
heals.
and Scott is just sort of watching, kind of grinning. And then Emma comes and she's like giving him shit for like being smug. And he's like, am I being smug? I think things are finally coming around. Like, we're actually getting to the training and teaching part of the school. You know, we're doing the stuff we kept saying we were gonna do. I don't know. Is that smug?
Yeah,
she's like, yeah, it's smug.
He says to her, did I do something I'm not aware of, or is this just one of those ex-lovers trying to be something else, bumps in the road?
Yeah. Which is weird, because her tone does kind of shift on him right here. Like, it seemed like they were cool, and now she's, like, kind of pissy at him for, I don't know why. Like, they kind of fucked up because Fabio got put in that position, a position they figured he would be in by taking him home. And then it happened, and then they had to rescue him.
She's just salty about her powers.
Yeah.
And she's still, like, upset about that.
And because, and then he's like, we're healing. And when he says that, it's like just his mouth, and he looks like he's constipated.
And then, meanwhile, Magneto's having secret spy correspondence with Maria Hill, but in a way that I don't understand how this code works.
You're obviously speaking in code.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because they're having a conversation that even within the conversation, it doesn't track. But then how do those words that they're texting each other, like those sentences, how do they translate into these new sentences?
I don't think they translate word for word. I think they have a set amount of sentences that translate to a different set amount of sentences. So, like, one word doesn't mean, like, mayo, but, like, the whole sentence together, like, of there was no mayonnaise on my sandwich.
We're going to meet up.
Yeah.
But some of this was, like, too specific, I thought, too.
Exactly, yeah. I just think they wrote it in a way, he wrote it in a way that's like, okay, this is obviously code, but, like, you're not meant to think it makes sense.
Yeah, like, I assume we were done with each other after last week's drama.
Exactly. That's really specific.
Yeah.
Like, the first one makes sense where we need to meet right now. Like, you say this sentence if we need to meet. But you
Right.
say this sentence if you're going to say that you assume we're not going to meet anymore after you fuck my plans up. Like, it's too specific.
Well, maybe it's not a direct translation either, though. Maybe it really just means,
But the writer
like,
is directly translating it.
yeah,
so.
but, like, maybe that code would mean, like, I thought we were done, and they were more specific in, like, showing us that.
It's an app.
So he types out that it is like
It's-
Inner Space is an underrated movie.
It's like Google Translate, but Shield.
Pretty much.
Yeah, that's how they got it. Is they translate it into Spanish and then back to English.
So, yeah. And then it goes back to the training, and Ava does start using powers, but in a way she didn't assume to. And then Scott's like, see, that was the point. Like, we're supposed to see, like, your powers aren't necessarily what they are at face value. There are layers to them. Because Ilyana throws a kick at her, and she catches it, but it seems to be like her hand is empowered. Ava catches it, and it seems that Ava's hand is empowered with whatever time power she possesses that allows her to stop the kick better. And then, so she gets the upper hand on Ilyana, but then Ilyana doesn't really like that she did that, and then Ava's freaked out that she did that, so she then freezes Ilyana in a time bubble.
Yeah,
Well, then she disappears.
Because Ilyana's like, oh, like, you're ready for that kind of training?
Yeah,
Like, I'll
like,
fuck you up.
She's about to pull out her sword.
It's like, turns out I was holding back.
She goes straight demon mode.
Like, she just becomes Darkchild.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit, this isn't how we train students. Yeah, so Ilyana ends up disappearing, and they all start freaking out, like, oh my god, where's Ilyana? And then she reappears, and they realize she had pushed her through time. Because when she reappears, she finishes the sentence she was in the middle of saying. And then Ava freaks out because she didn't mean to do that. And so now she's like, oh my god, I can't control my power. And runs off.
The sound effect that they put in for that, the pop, makes me think that it's the sound it makes is like in Dragon Ball Z Abridged when Goku does the instant transmission. Like she was gone for 1 second and then it just showed up.
Mm-hmm. I can see that. And then we go back to Magneto. He's meeting up with Maria Hill, all like incognito like, but you know why? Like the X-Men know that Magneto is.
I mean, like incognito like, but also very
Super
obviously
obvious, yeah.
like it's like I'm gonna take the jet out for a little while. Bye.
Yeah, which is funny because they see the jet and they're like, "Is that Ava?" It's like, yeah, she's flying the jet. She's been an X-Men 3 days. And they're like, nah, it's gotta be Magneto.
Is Hijack with them? Because maybe they thought Hijack was with her.
Yeah, maybe.
That make more sense.
He's like, I need to get some fucking sleep.
Yeah, he was sleeping on there, and his dream was that it was flying away. In these pages, though, it like the art almost looks like they took like they did that weird like Courage the Cowardly Dog style, where it was like a bad picture of someone's actual face, and then they drew hair on it.
Yeah, that's part of what I don't like about this dude's art style.
Yeah, like he's really good at drawing anything to do with hell, but like outside of that, it looks kind of weird.
Yeah. Anyway.
Did you lose your place?
Like, I did, and then I picked it up, and then I was just like... Magneto and Maria are talking, and it's really odd because Maria's just like, so we're not going to meet anymore. I don't trust you. And he's like, wait a minute. You couldn't just text me this shit?
I flew all the way to Portland.
Why did we meet so that you could say we weren't meeting?
Why didn't you tell me brown dogs play poker? And I would have known that you didn't want to talk to me anymore.
David's girlfriend sent him a text to break up, like, and we're not even that close. This could have been a text.
She's like, I thought you needed to hear this in person.
And she's like, who's David? Who he recently is the reason your helicarrier went missing.
Maybe. I don't know.
But she's like, you didn't tell us that Scott was going to come on the helicarrier, so we don't
Gross.
trust you anymore. we don't trust you anymore. And he's like, you were keeping a mutant prisoner. He's like, we weren't keeping a mutant prisoner. We were trying to get information. He's like, well, you look like a prisoner to me.
He's just in handcuffs. He's trying him on.
And we gave you a vacation. We sent you to Hawaii.
That is one of his... I love sassy Magneto because when they do show up, it's like, oh, you look like you got some sun.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I wonder why that is. 'Cause we thought you had a long day, and we were trying to be nice.
Yeah, this is the nicest thing they could have done.
Really?
They can send her to Limbo.
They could, yeah. Well, no, they can't. Limbo's all inside of Ileana. So when she teleports everyone, she's taking them inside of herself and then, like, ejecting them back out wherever they're teleporting?
Yes.
That sounds grosser than I mean it. I just mean, like, because she has...
How do you mean it?
sort of like how Cloak does.
Yeah.
Like, Cloak is the basically the gateway to wherever he's
to the
teleporting.
dark dimension.
Like
Yeah.
Cyclops. The punch dimension.
I guess if people could travel through his eyes.
Have you ever just stared at him for long enough?
You could get
Stare
lost for
into
days. or disintegrated.
Yeah. Lost for the remainder of your life.
Which is great. What was that that girl who's like a Captain America spinoff, kind of?
America.
Oh, is that
Oh,
her?
American
She's just-
Chavez?
yeah. She
Chavez?
she has a page in one of her books where she's in that dimension. She's in the punch dimension.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, because she's traveling between dimensions for some reason.
Well,
And it's
'cause-
literally just a space where, like, beams of red are shooting all around.
Well, you said she's like kind of like a Captain America spinoff, but she's like way more like Captain Marvel. She's like, way OP.
Well, I just mean, like, it's really America built up, like, her gimmick. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I think just her name is America.
Yeah, but isn't she also wearing, like, stars and stripes?
Yeah, but I think it's like more because her name is America.
Oh, she's being meta with it.
I think so. I haven't read her books, but as far as I know,
I assume she was Puerto Rican.
She's either Puerto Rican or Mexican. I don't know which one it is, because a lot of times Marvel's just like they're vaguely Latino.
We're going to have to get down to the bottom of this.
Her costume, though, could just be the Puerto Rican flag.
But her
if
name's
they
America.
Committed to one star.
Also Puerto Rico is America.
Yeah, but it's just a territory.
Yeah, but they'd still have the flag.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, that was the geography lesson for this episode.
Tune in next week for more geography.
For Cuba. Anyway, so Magneto and Maria Hill are, like, figuring out, like, are we breaking up? Aren't we breaking up? And Maria Hill's like, okay, so you're not going to be able to talk to me anymore directly. You're going to talk to our liaison, your Uncle Tom. And Dazzler shows up, and she's like, hi. And he's like, I don't want to talk to her. I want to talk to you. And she's like, yeah, you want to talk to me? Where's your base?
She actually says, fine,
Kick
you want a
up the
relationship
bass.
with me?
Yeah, basically.
I know,
Which is
she's-
funny because they are, like, she's breaking up with him. And she's like, you want a relationship with me? Tell me where Scott Summers is.
Well, like, but that's the weird thing is that they're breaking up, but not really. Because she's like, I still want you to inform, but you don't get to talk to me.
Yeah.
You're losing this. You
Pretty
get
much.
that.
Which you would seem like Magneto would more, like, would rather talk to Dazzler.
You'd think, but maybe he just wants to be able to read like Maria Hill's face.
Yeah, like, he doesn't want the middleman.
Yeah.
Real quick on America Chavez, I looked it up, and she is just Latina. They don't know what she is because they haven't said it.
That's fair, because I think that a good portion of Latins
She's
don't know
alien.
what they are.
She's alien.
She's alien.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
I know that's offensive.
That's offensive. She's an illegal alien.
Species, alien.
Okay, Marvel, that's offensive.
She's a Latin alien.
I mean, like, she's basically like Captain Marvel, but we've already spent a lot of time talking about it.
Way more time on America Chavez than I thought we would.
Oh, I remember now. Yeah, she's. I think she's like human from a dystopian.
Okay, we can keep
society.
this up.
Utopian parallel, it says. That's where she was
Yeah, and
raised.
both of her parents are women. I think.
Hey.
Was it artificial insemination then?
It's just like a way that their culture works, or something like that. Like they're
So it's like a
able-
Themyscira?
I think so. They're just able to reproduce like that.
Hey,
I'm not
Wonder Woman,
sure.
also a American themed fucking suit.
Yeah,
So she's like Marvel Wonder Woman.
sure.
She's Miss America. That's been a different. Somebody else had that title, I believe, before her.
A lot of women have had that title. There's a whole pageant for it. All right, but we spent way too much time on this. Sorry, I derailed it again.
Didn't they also make Themyscira like a Latin island?
I don't.
No, never mind.
I don't
It's
read
Amazon.
DC.
It's
Amazonian.
Yeah.
I felt like you were going to continue that word forever.
Oh, we need to move on.
Anyway, ground is not gained in the conversation between Magneto and Maria Hill. So
Yeah, they are. Their relationship is on rocky terms.
yeah,
at
because
best.
she's like, "Where's your base?" and he's like, "Where are the Sentinels coming from?" and it basically is just like, "All right, I'll just talk to Dazzler."
Yeah, like, delete my nudes. It's over.
And Dazzler looking creepy with that like courage, the cowardly dog artwork again has like the most like shit-eating awkward grin smile I've ever seen. Is like, hi, I'm secretly Mystique.
Well, I think that's the thing that Mystique gets wrong when she turns into people. She's always a nicer version of them.
Yeah, because I think she doesn't know how to be a good person, so she she overcompensates.
Yeah. So anyway, it goes back to the Xavier Institute, and now they're watching TV and they're watching the news because it's the X-Men, and they do that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And there's a mutant revolution rally being held by humans
Yeah. University of Ann Arbor.
where I didn't know this. One of us are in that comic.
The three of us.
One of the three of us clearly is giving a speech talking about how awesome Cyclops is.
The guy does kind of look like you. Like, he's got the same beard and hair combo you got going on.
I didn't want to just blow myself up, you know. I didn't want to say, and by the way, I was in this comic.
Yeah, Marvel knew that you were just yelling. Like, they heard you yelling at the
I've
book
been to
every
Ann Arbor
week.
twice, and once was for this rally.
Yeah, they shot it live.
But anyway, because he brings up literally all the points we've brought up on this podcast.
Yeah.
Including like, okay, and so he gets a cosmic power. He gets the power to make a change. And what does? He makes a change for the better, just trying to feed people. And the next thing we know, he's a wanted man. I wonder why that is.
Yeah, but nobody knows about
Captain
Xavier,
America's hate boner.
though. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it's also still true. Like,
Well, it's true. Yeah.
yeah. and who cares about
Well,
Xavier?
that's classified information.
My erections are fueled by hatred.
That's why Captain America seems so wholesome. Because he's never trying to fuck anyone because he has to be angry first.
Oh.
Well, unless it's the daughter of a girl he used to date in the past. Or not daughter, niece.
Okay.
Because he made out with her and then went back and slept with her aunt in the past. That's the plot of the movies.
Well, he was exploring options, I think.
He should have explored a little farther than the same family tree. He's like, you look a lot like your aunt.
Anyway, they see that rally, and Scott's actually like, oh my, I never thought I would see this. I never thought I'd see humans standing up for mutants before, and which is weird because there was already a pro-mutant rally earlier on in this book, and he's like, that doesn't count. This one counts.
Well, because
they're talking about me.
Yeah.
They weren't even... Well, because this one is, like, centered towards them, and the other one was clearly just people who weren't believing in what they were saying.
Yeah. They were just like, hey, mutants are one of us. And then as soon as a mutant got in trouble at their school, they were like, tough, right?
I mean, this one, he is wearing his Bret Hart glasses for...
Yeah.
So, I don't know, maybe they got a different shade, so, like, standard rose-colored glasses joke.
Oh, okay. That's what this was.
I feel like he recorded this. He saw this on live TV, everybody talking about him. He's like, oh, record this. Record this.
And then he was like, guys, there's breaking news. What is it recording?
Pop in a VCR.
By the time he brings the VCR and hooks it up, it's over.
Fuck! They said my name.
I swear.
Smiling. I swear I saw smiles. So, yeah, Scott's like, all right, we're going to do something. It's totally voluntary. You don't got to come. But, you know.
But if you don't, you're grounded.
Yeah, because everyone goes.
Yeah. And then he has the best opening line when he shows up.
Yeah.
Hi.
He's one of us.
Here I am.
Someone said my name?
You said the same thing a couple weeks ago in relation to Cyclops' attacking battle cry against Wolverine was just K.
Yeah. So, the X-Men show up, and everyone in the crowd's like, holy shit, they saw us on the thing. And it's like, I know, because we saw it, and we were like, holy shit, they're talking about us on the thing. And so he gets a megaphone, and he starts talking to the crowd.
He already had the megaphone. He brought it with him.
It's just on his utility phone. And while they're talking, there's an explosion, and I know it's hard to tell that it's an explosion because of this fucking artist, but a Sentinel shows up, and they're like, oh shit, there's a Sentinel. And that's the end of 10.
Yeah, it's like a weird Sentinel. It's a blockbuster Sentinel, it says.
Yeah, because they're like, it's got to be a bigger fucking thing. How do they even know that that's what it's called?
Oh, he says it. The Sentinel. It says blockbuster Sentinel.
Oh, right.
He's like a Pokemon.
He
just says his own name.
He's got to announce himself.
Here I am.
Yeah, I feel like
for some reason I was thinking they said, like, it's a blockbuster Sentinel.
Oh, yeah, I've never seen it.
It's
got like
going
a
out of
weird...
I was about to say he's going to be out of business in like a year after this.
He's got like a holographic face.
Yeah.
Cyclops like, no, really, I'm not prepared for a speech. No. He pulls out a paper with a written speech on it.
No, he has his own microphone.
I can't.
And
I couldn't possibly, no.
And then issue 11 is just one long-ass fight.
He's got an unfolded podium.
Or, like, what if it was, like, all just stepping discs? And it's all the podium and microphone and all the stuff just falling out to him. Whatever. So, Scott immediately is almost killed by the Sentinel. Like, he's standing there, and then the Sentinel is like, you're dead now, and shoots, and there's an explosion where Scott was standing, and everyone's like, oh my god, he just killed Scott.
Oh, you bastard!
Yeah, there is kind of a he just killed Kenny moment to that page. But then the next page reveals that Magic, just in time, had grabbed Scott and teleported him back.
Yeah, and had time to cross her arms to be like, no big deal.
Yeah. And he was like, oh my god, like, it was so close. I felt it hit my chest. It was that close of a call between the teleporting and the big old blast that would have killed me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like how he was like so because the robot or the blockbuster Sentinel was like terrorist Scott Summer identified, and Scott's like terrorist, as if he hasn't been called this the whole series.
Yeah, but now it's the Sentinel branding him a terrorist while it's terrorizing a peaceful rally.
I mean, I kind of think, especially if you're not a terrorist, the more that people like call you a terrorist, you're still going to be offended by it. You're like, fuck you. Like, again, I just planted corn.
I just planted corn.
But there's like news articles. We saw one. It was like terrorist revolutionary. It's like it's common knowledge that everyone's calling you a terrorist. You're
But the other
surprised?
Scott was reading that news article.
You know that he's like reading the news, watching himself. This guy,
Yeah, I mean, he did get out the DVR
Yeah,
to
he's like
record himself.
framing all of his. I mean, he posed for Rolling Stone.
Yeah, they had him in for a special photo shoot, or at the very least, he's sending his own picture.
He's got Emma taking the pictures.
He's like, it's gonna be so cool.
That was the camera shot though.
What? Oh yeah.
That X with his fists and stuff.
He didn't even get paid for that.
Yeah, he's not getting any royalties off
Oh
that.
my god.
I mean, you can
Or
sue him.
unless he is, and then Shield's really bad at investigating because they could have just seen where the checks were getting mailed.
Yeah. Another case of the human putting down a mutant. We're not even paying him.
Because
I'm surprised there's not a character called Hugh Man.
All right. So Scott begins to just have like this inner monologue that's describing all the panels of them fighting, where it really is making him sound like a guy who's just standing there watching. Because he kind of is a guy who's just standing there watching. Like a few times he shoots his optic blast at it, and it doesn't do a whole lot. But he's just talking about how remarkable literally everyone else is for what they're doing. Like right away, Emma Frost like turns into a diamond and then starts punching the Sentinel, and then gets blasted away. But you know she's a diamond, so it's fine.
Yeah. But before we started recording today, you were talking about how who's the artist for this again?
Spacing on his name, Fraser Irving or something like that.
Yeah. Fraser
Yeah.
Irving.
You were talking about how his hands, he draws weird hands.
Oh yeah.
And Triage's hand is fucking huge.
Yeah, she
Yeah,
draws
that's what I was
ginormous hands.
Humongous, like because it's right next to his head. That's the image you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a point where Scott, because he shoots an optic blast, and then like he did, you know, because Scott's always fucking doing this. He's given it everything he has, and then he's exhausted, and he sort of like falls over, and he's like, it looks like he's kowtowing, you know, like a super low bow, and so his hands are next to his head. His head's super tiny, and his hands are giant, fucking enormous. They're like almost the size of his torso. It's crazy.
But at this point, right after that, they need like a heavy hitter to like come on and start hitting the Sentinel, and Goldball steps up.
Which was weird, but hey.
It was great.
Well, there's a lot of cool
So-
stuff. Like, there's a cool part where Ava jumps in front of, I think, Hijack, because Hijack's trying to stop. Like, 'cause that was one of the other things. Is Hijack tries to stop the Sentinel, and he can't. It's not listening to him, and the Akukus are like, okay, it's not organic, but it's not entirely metal too. So it's a thing that we can't deal with because
Yeah. Well, I think they said it was a robot, or it wasn't a robot. And then when Magneto shows up, he's like, "This is not a type of metal I can control.
yeah. So
It's
it's
some weird-
somehow it's a thing
Yeah.
that none of them can just easily shut down.
It's some type of alien, I would assume, like some type of alien metal." But back to Goldballs, when he says, like most of the time I read his voice in kind of like a crackly voice, but like at this point when I feel like he's like, "I have this poink,"
Yeah, he says point.
and then he's like, "Goldballs!"
Yeah, I said it.
And yeah, he fucks up that Sentinel, and like right as that happens, Scott is like, "Oh no, he's not ready. He can't handle this." And then Goldballs just like takes down the Sentinel, and he's like, "Well, how about that?"
Yeah, well, sort of, because the Sentinel doesn't stay down for anything.
Yeah, but he at that point,
it
he
is a
causes
dope
the most
moment for
damage.
Gold Balls. He embraces
Because he knocks him back.
the Gold Balls.
Yeah. For the first time.
Embraces the Goldball sounds
Yeah.
like a sequel to the Matrix.
Yeah, but there's a cool moment when Hijack tries to stop the Sentinel and it's not working, and the Sentinel shoots at him, and Ava actually runs and jumps in front of Hijack and freezes the beam that the Sentinel shot at him. That's pretty dope.
Yeah, like Kylo Ren in The Force Awakens.
Yeah. Except before that. So Bendis did it first.
Yep.
I think there's a lot of other people before Bendis who thought, like, it's cool? Freezing laser beams in midair.
But it's weird, too, because it's not, like, just a straight laser beam. It looks like one of when they decide Havoc's powers aren't just blasts, but weird rings.
Yeah, it's like a circular.
It's like that. It's like a series of rings that we're shooting at Hijack.
That's probably just how it looked stopped.
Yeah.
Because we don't actually see him shoot that kind of stuff.
And then also, because while they're fighting this, they're also saving people. So Triage is like healing legs and what have you.
Waving big hands.
Nothing
around.
else. If your arm is broken, you're shit out of luck.
I said what have you.
Just heals legs.
And what have you.
Yeah. Which I think is a euphemism for, like, your genitals.
Yeah, he's like, are you sure nothing's wrong there? Because I'll get it.
He totally would do that. Oh, good. We forgot to mention earlier, as soon as one of the cuckoos dye their hair, he's like, hey, you look a little different than the other ones now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because she actually liked it now because she was pissed that all of her sisters, or the two sisters, was upset with her hair. He's like,
Yeah, the other two are dead. Which is funny because she's like, we're triplets. And it's like, you were like quintuplets.
Yeah.
You're forgetting your
Those
dead
are old
sisters.
But she doesn't count them because anytime a cuckoo starts to act like their own individual person, they kind of get pushed out of the group. Usually they die right away.
She's like, shit,
They're off
now
the
we're going to have to
team.
be twins. Because we got to kill you.
She thought that for like a second, but then the other one was like, I'll do red hair. And she's like, it's just going to be me now.
I'm the only one.
I'm the only one who's like me now.
She was all mad, and then Triage's like, I like it. To her hair, she's like, oh.
Hey. Have you guys seen Enter the Spider-Verse?
Yeah.
How he puts his arm on their shoulder and he's like, hey.
Yeah. It's a great moment. So anyway, Maria Hill is on a helicarrier and she gets word that there's another Sentinel attack and the mutants are trying to stop it, and she's just like, fuck, or or shit. I don't know which one, but she's not happy.
They diss Ann Arbor or Michigan.
Yeah, because they're just
Straight
like
up.
Bastards.
Yeah, because they're like, who do we have in Michigan? Nobody. He's like, what do you mean? Well, it's Michigan.
He's like, why do we not have a base there?
Because she's also like, University of Michigan in Ann Arbor is the school that Maria Hill went to. Also,
Yeah.
They're just like, well, our closest thing is Chicago. It's
Also-
like, okay, then get them. It's like, well, they can't. They saw Ghost Rider, so they're doing a thing with him.
Also, there was just a whole thing that happened in Ann Arbor. Might want to keep an eye on it.
There was
Triage is from Ann Arbor.
triage, yeah, but that wasn't like a whole thing.
It was a mutant popping up there, and they had to run him with the X-Men. So,
Yeah, that's right. They did take him from the police. I was thinking of like Benjamin's school. That was like the big thing where there was like optic blast
yeah, with
damage everywhere.
the X-Men were fighting the First Class.
Yeah. Where Cyclops
Which,
was
by the
he
way,
gets his neck broken by Jean in that one.
By the way, re-editing everything, I was listening to the first episode we did on All New, and right away we're like, all right, to draw differences, we're going to say like the X-Men and then First Class.
Oh yeah,
and
then
then
we
we
did
never
not
do it again.
Never do it again. I thought that exact same thing. So our bad.
Yeah.
Anyway, Hill's like, where's our mutant liaison for this shit? Like, it's the whole reason we have Dazzler.
Yeah,
And,
Madripoor.
yeah, and we go to Madripoor where
Which I love when she's like, where is she? Madripoor. What is she doing in the criminal armpit hell of the Pacific Rim? And then it goes, and it says, Madripoor, the criminal armpit hell of the Pacific Rim.
yeah. And it turns out Mystique is spying on Lady Hydra, as Lady Hydra is going to the hand.
Whoa. Madam Hydra.
Fine.
Put some respect on her name, all right?
But you're confusing it with Lady Mastermind, who is just Mastermind.
No, she kept getting called Lady. I remember distinctly just doing this episode, and
Because Jerry Lewis was the other person talking to her. So. Is that too old of a reference?
yes,
Hey, lady.
no,
No?
no,
Somebody out there gets it, and they're laughing right now.
no. Mystique just kept calling her Lady. Wanted to emphasize she knew she had a vagina. But anyway, Mystique spying on Madam.
She's like, I know, I
Hydra.
I transformed into you and checked.
Well, couldn't you control that though?
I don't know how it works if it just automatically.
She's like, you want to know how you look with the dick?
That's how she just gets into people's heads.
That is because if you could transform into anybody, like you would keep the dick just for convenience of peeing, right?
Yeah, if you're all standing up.
Like you could pee how you're used to. Like, so does she just keep the genitals the same all the time, or is she like fully committed? Is she like Daniel Day-Lewis when she transforms into somebody? It's like, I gotta go full like wiener.
I'm just imagining like, you know that thing where in a show, like a movie or like a TV show, like there's like a comedic moment where there's like two characters and they run up against each other and they're like reflections of each other, and so like one person's mimicking
like
what the
Jay
other
and Silent
person's
Bob.
doing. Yeah. But like Mystique's doing that, but then the other person looks down and sees that Mystique has a dick, and they're just like, what? And they check themselves. I just think that'd be hilarious. And then they get punched by Mystique, like, so she psychs them out. Anyway, so Mystique is spying on Madame Hydra, and Madame Hydra is meeting with the Hand, and she's like, hey, so Mystique had tried to buy this island from me, and she couldn't have done that if you guys weren't already on board with her doing that, and you're supposed to be beholden to me, so I got a problem with that. And then Hydra starts shooting at them, and it looks like they're beating the shit out of the Hand at first, but then the Hand suddenly, like, is even, like, more crowded, like there's even more of them.
That was a very dope panel.
Yeah.
Because the dude who's dying, like, does a call out, and then it's just a panel of just ninjas.
Yeah.
What's weird to me is she's talking to them like they're like the Hand recruits members, like that, the Foot Clan. How the Foot Clan works is like how they recruit kids and turn them into ninjas.
Yeah, they
the
find
Hand
kids.
are just like undead spirits.
The Foot Clan, they just go to arcades and they find kids who are out of quarters.
Hey man, they let you smoke and ride skateboards there.
Yeah, but I also love that it's just a prerequisite that you're out of quarters. So you're just so bored, you're like, yeah, I'll be a ninja.
You want some quarters, kid?
The recruiter is one of those guys who has like one of those change belts. And he's just pushing them down like, this could all be yours if you become a ninja.
He's like, hey kid, in exchange for you helping us fight these turtles, we got a skate park, we'll get you some cigarettes, and we'll teach you karate. And I got some change.
The change is really what sealed it, right?
Yeah,
there.
they're like, that's a pretty sweet deal. Like, every once in a while, we'll have to fight, like, some turtles who aren't going to kill us. And, like, we're set up for life.
But there's so many of us, we'll just jump them.
I mean, kind of, because they're all, like, runaways, so their other choices, like, get, like, sexually assaulted on the street by a homeless
like
guy.
the idea that they're not runaways at all. Like, they go back home to, like, their suburban houses, and they hide their ninja suits, and, like, their mom's yelling at them for, like, missing dinner or whatever.
Chattathan, clean out the closet.
Jonathan?
Yeah. That's the name of Go.
Why didn't you clean the gutters like I told you?
You know
He's
damn
like, you
well,
tired of your mom asking you to clean your room? Come
Chattathan
join
is-
the Foot Clan.
Chattathan is never cleaning the gutters, I'll tell you that. It's hard enough to get that guy to clean his own room.
Like, Mom, didn't you hire minorities to do that?
He quits the Foot Clan, though, when he realizes how many minorities are actually in the Foot Clan. Because they're always wearing those masks, you know?
Can't handle it. Yep.
I think everybody in the Foot Clan is just a 14-year-old white kid with spiky hair.
Well, that's most of them,
Yeah.
actually. Yeah. Anyway, so...
But my point to that was that the Hand are, like, all undead.
Yeah.
So it's weird to be like, you guys recruit dumb people? Like, they're literally they're not
Or the
alive.
brain dead, yeah. So it's just... It seems like this was part of Mystique's plan, or at least it's a happy side effect of her plan. So she's like, you know, gears are turning for what she's going to do next now that the control for Madripoor is a bit shaken and Hydra is fighting the Hand. And then she, like, doesn't report in to S.H.I.E.L.D. when it's trying to contact her. She's just like, there's nothing to report here. Just sort of like... Well, I forget... it was set up when they said she was in Madripoor, but her cover story for having been there actually doesn't even involve the X-Men. It's like they said that she's has a lead on Mystique, which, you know,
She does.
Dun, dun.
To be fair,
It's a mistake.
she's not lying.
Yeah. So then it goes back to the fight, and now like they're all fighting the Sentinel even harder, but Scott's kind of giving up. Magneto shows up and he's like, first Hijack throws a giant bus at it. And then that doesn't even really do it. Like, you think it does something, but then the Sentinel's like, psh, I take buses, I don't care.
It frooms it.
Cyclops' hands are also gigantic.
Yeah.
There's a panel of
Yeah, I
him
said
like
this.
bowing, it looks like, to the side. Oh, did you say?
Yeah, that's what I was talking
okay.
about. Yeah.
I just saw it. I didn't notice it the first time.
Yeah.
His hands are ridiculous.
Yeah, and then his head is tiny.
Yeah.
So his hands are even more ridiculous.
Don't want to get slapped by those things, I'll
No.
tell you that.
So then Magneto shows up and he's like, I got this. And he just pulls a bunch of nails out of his pouch.
Which he has to replenish all the time.
I mean,
nails?
he
He
just
probably
pick
brings
them
them
up.
back, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but how powerful are all those nails? Adamantium nails?
No,
Nails bend, man. You just hammer them in there, they're bending.
they just stopped at like an Ace Hardware.
They're all Uru.
Well, I guess you can make them again. You can unbend them.
Yeah, and well, nails are cheap.
Or he just, like you said, makes them.
Steals them.
Well, he was turning guns into fucking giant
Arrows.
Yeah. But anyway, he takes a bunch of nails and he fucks that Sentinel up. And he does probably the most damage anyone did to the Sentinel. Because he's like, hey, what if I hit the weird orb head thingy?
Yeah, that Ilyana had already sliced in half.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got a
Earlier,
plan.
but
Go
it
for
didn't
the
work.
head.
So he hits the Sentinel with it, and it seems to do the most damage so far. But it's also like kind of implied that all the damage has been doing damage.
Adding up.
Just
If you
adding
focus
up,
on
yeah.
the head, it works the best. That's what they say.
He's like the boss character, and he's finally on his last like health bar.
They've
Like,
all
everything
been-
has been like knocking down multiple health bars it had.
They all been working on like popping the top off that pickle jar, and Magneto's just like, I must be real strong.
So it's semi disintegrated, and right away Scott's like, what the fuck are you? Where do you come from? Like, he sort of runs up on it, because it's weird, like, mentally, because he's, like I said, he's narrating this whole thing, and he goes from like anger and then admiration at his team to defeat to suddenly like, fuck you, fuck this, I'm tired of all of this, and I want answers. And then the thing like just sort of disintegrates, and even one of the X-Men are like, hey, it just disintegrated, and he's like, no, it didn't, it got called back. Like, he knew that it, someone sent it and then took it back away. And his monologue kind of continues on like, you think you know us, you don't know us, like we're gonna find you and come after you. And it goes to a page where there's a mysterious like figure in like a weird armor thing, and it's obvious like he's in a Sentinel factory, and he did call back the Sentinel. He's reforming it in front of him, and he's got like schematics on the X-Men as they fought, so it was just like learning.
Unrelated, but I'm just noticing now that you are dressed like Ash Ketchum.
Yeah,
So
from Palatine.
it just hit me, and I haven't been able to concentrate on anything you're saying.
I'm surprised it took you this long.
It took him saying it for me to notice.
So yeah, my brain was wandering. Did you finish the issue?
Yeah, that was the end
All
of
right.
the issue.
All right, yeah. So that'll all be continued next week on part 1 of Battle of the Atom.
Yeah, and now we can do that
Yeah.
speech. If you guys want to hear the
Speech.
speech.
Speech. Do the speech.
Yeah. Okay.
So this is the speech that Havoc gave. The don't say the M word speech that Devin's gonna do.
Yeah.
I still like Justin's idea of doing it as Kermit the Frog.
I mean, you can go ahead and read it as Kermit the Frog.
You seem to have really wanted to read it though. I don't want to
No,
take that away from you.
I know. I think
You want me to read it as Kermit?
Go right ahead.
I gotta bring it up.
My name is Kermit the Frog.
Hi. All right, gotta get to the right part. So, my name is Alex Summers. I am a student of Professor Charles Xavier. This team is the embodiment of his simple dream and all people working together. A fight more important now than ever. Recently, the world saw my brother Scott infused with the power of a god. And while he tried to make a lasting change to fix what he saw as broken, no man should ever unilaterally take action or choose for so many. It is hubris. Yeah. I never... God damn
Even
it.
Kermit the Frog can't say words.
Because I'm trying not to laugh. I never quite saw things as my brother did. And later
Everything was red for him.
our views diverged even further. I don't see myself as born into a mutant cult or a religion. Having an X gene doesn't bond me to anyone. It doesn't define me. In fact, I see the very word mutant as
Decisive?
old thinking that serves to further separate us from our fellow man. We are all humans of one tribe. We are defined by our choices, not the makeup of our genes. So please don't call us mutants. The M word represents everything I hate.
Well, if you don't want to be called mutant, what should we call you?
How about Kermit the Frog?
It was at this point that a tomato was tossed.
Oh, man.
But yeah, that was the speech that Alex gave, and then...
Wow, Wolverine is there.
Is Wolverine there?
Yeah, he's in
Yeah.
the background listening to that crap.
Everybody, it does get attacked right after that, because they're like, oh, fuck this guy. But yeah, that was Havoc's speech that he gives of don't say the M word.
Such trash.
It is. It's hard to do that for a long time.
Yeah, I know. You even said, so one real quick correction. You said decisive, and he says divisive, and they're kind of the opposite thing. So, so that's the one correction. Is that
I'll
it's
edit
divisive.
in you saying
Divisive.
It's just completely different.
Leon divisive. So yeah, we have a Twitter that you should go and like. It is Mex-Men Podcast Twitter. Also, Facebook and Instagram. Everything is at Mex-Men Podcast.
But if you want to do the tweets, that's the Twitter. It's not the Facebook or the Instagram.
Or you can technically tweet. I'm starting to go into Kermit a little bit,
At all
trying
times.
to talk.
You could tweet on Facebook?
You can take a picture of a tweet and put it on Facebook. So technically,
You can retweet.
yes. Also, we have shirts,
We do.
and you can get one,
By paying money.
and you can wear it, and they will be sent to you, and we will get $2.
You can get a pillow, too.
Yeah, pillows as well, phone cases. You can even get a case for your laptop.
If you have one of those still.
Tapestry.
And also, Devin has yet to like our Twitter with his Twitter.
I forgot the login for my Twitter.
But just because Devin hasn't doesn't mean you shouldn't. So go like all of our stuff and share the podcast around.
Yeah,
But-
do that.
That's for today.